Hi. So I'm gonna make another draft video. Woo! So this is my fourth one, and this time it's going to be Innistrad block. So that's officially Dark Ascension, followed by 2 Innistrad packs. This is again a format that I've done quite a few times, so I know my way roughly around it. I know that it's a very slow format, so bomby cards are really important because they can break a board stall, but also sometimes aggressive strategies are possible. I rarely draft aggressive decks, so we'll see how this actually turns out. But Innistrad is a really interesting draft format, so I'll just go ahead and start, and we'll see where the drafting takes us. Okay, the rare is not playable. That's always sad. I like getting an awesome slam first pick and just being able to do everything from there. Okay, well there's a Diagraph Captain, which is an interesting build-around card. Relentless Scabs is okay. Gather the Townsfolk is okay. Wow, this pack, I don't really like this pack very much. Okay, Fires of Undeath is alright. As a flashback, Shock. Yeah, Dark Ascension I have not actually, I've drafted Innistrad packs a lot more than I've drafted Dark Ascension packs. So in this pack, the only cards I would consider are really Diagraph Captain, but that's sort of niche. I wouldn't enjoy picking that. Hollowhenge Beast and Fires of Undeath, and they're all different colors, so I can sort of stay out of people's way, regardless of which one I pick. Although, following those cards, there's pretty much Forge Devil and Gravetiller Worm. I mean, Fires of Undeath is probably just the best card out of this pack. Maybe Heath had the Scout, I'm not really sure. But, I mean, Fires of Undeath is a solid card, I can pick it and be happy. So I'll take that. And, okay, there's a Tragic Slip in this pack, as well as a couple of good green cards. We've got Scorn Villager and Dawntrudder Elk, which are both really good. So it's Tragic Slip, Dawntrudder Elk, Scorn Villager, and Silverclaw Griffin is actually very good as well. Although, I'm not really sure. I've always had difficulties getting Tragic Slip to actually trigger. Scorned Villager is probably it's either Scorned Villager or Tragic Slip, but I like Scorned Villager just a little bit more. Every time I've had to play Tragic Slip, I've always had difficulties actually getting the Morbid to trigger when I wanted it to. It's not as unconditional of a removal spell as it seems. So I'm going to take the Scorned Villager. Okay, there's another Dawntrudder Elk. Fling. Scursdag Flayer is actually very good. It's a kill spell. So it's either Scursdag Flayer or Dawntrudder Elk. Seeing as I don't actually have any bombs to ramp into currently, I'm just going to take the Flare, I think, just as the best all-around card. I mean, Dawntrudder is pretty good, but it's not super awesome. I mean, it is really good, but since I don't actually have anywhere to go with it, I'm more happy taking the Flare. A foil Archangel's Light. Oh man, this card is bad. But that's still a very rare thing. Foil Mythic Rares. Those are things you do not see very often. Okay, so in this pack, well, the card I really like out of this pack is Rack with Madness. Everything else is kind of substandard. I mean, they're all fine, but Rack with Madness is the only, good card out of this pack, so I'll take that. So it's looking like My secondary color is either going to be, hopefully, black or green, depending on what seems open. And I'll probably play red, because I got 2 good removal spells in red, and I'll splash black no matter what for the flashback on Fires of Undeath, probably. Okay, I don't really love anything out of this pack either. I don't really have any good things to fling as of yet. I mean, I could try getting my hands on some undying creatures, and that would be best. I mean, werewolf is fine, I guess. It's not that great, though, because it doesn't have a very good unflipped side. I might take the black cat. Yeah, I think Lamphold Elder is okay. I'm probably just going to take this. Okay, that's a really late Dawntraitor Elk, so I'm going to take that as green being open and try to play green, because Dawntraitor Elk is way better than 6th pick most of the time. I don't really like anything out of this pack. I could take the Faithless Looting, I guess. I mean, Sightless Ghoul isn't that good, and I'm not going to splash for it, so I can take the Faithless Looting. Oh, that's a really late Rack with Madness, too, so it looks like red-green is going to be pretty open for me. Okay, out of this pack, I have a couple humans, I guess. I could play... Well, Heavy Manic is still bad, even with lots of humans, actually. I could... I'll take the Crushing Vines as sideboard. Ooh, that's a late Silver Claw Griffin. I'm probably not going to switch into white for it, though. I could take the Dryad. The Dryad's good. It's actually the only good thing in this pack. Okay, this isn't... These picks don't really matter. They're not going to be good. Well, there's a Stromkirk Noble. That card is really good. Also, Instigator Gang. So there's a ton of good white and a ton of good red in this pack. So I'm probably going to pick either the Instigator Gang or the Stromkirk Noble. I mean, Stromkirk Noble is like an insane 1-drop. Like, if you can get in with it a couple of times, it's such a beating. If you're on the play and you just play this turn 1, it's so hard to answer because it gets huge really quickly. And it's either that or Instigator Gang. And Instigator Gang is... I mean, this deck doesn't look too aggressive, so I might just pick that here. I probably won't get the Stromkirk Noble back, but I think I'm okay with having an Instigator Gang instead because the card is good. So I'll take the Gang. Ooh, Scab Ruinator. I'm not going to play that, but I'm passing somebody that, so I've got to prepare to deal with that card, because it's kind of crazy. There's a Pitchburn Devils, also a Rage Thrower. I like the Pitchburn Devils more just as a card, and it's pickable. I like it. Ooh, Galvanic Juggernaut is pretty awesome in this format, so seems like a pretty easy pick out of this pack. Okay, I don't really like Hanwar Watchkeep because it's pretty bad unless it flips. I mean, like, it's okay. I might still pick it here. I mean, Keswick Wolf is good too. So I could see picking either of these. I don't really like anything else in this pack, though. I mean, Keswick Wolf is good as like a threatening 3/1 first striker possibility. But the 5/5 upside of Hanwir Watchkeep is so high that I feel like I should take it. Yeah, I'll take it. And okay. Well, okay. Village Ironsmith is alright. So is Feral Ritual alright. I mean, I don't really like either of these a whole lot. I think white was open this time. I don't really think I had an opportunity to switch into it though. I was kind of deep. But Bonds of Faith and Gallows Warden this late, that's a good sign that white is open. I'll play the Village Ironsmith though here. Oh jeez. White is definitely open. Like Chapelgeist, Spare from Evil, Rebuke, Champion of... Those are all really good. Nothing super great in that pack. Blue is pretty open too, because Moon Heron is a good card as well. I wonder if I could just splash for that. It's probably not worth it. I'll just take the Fur. No, I'll take Sensory Deprivation, because this card overperforms... Oh, no, it's blue, though. What am I thinking? Sensory Deprivation is a good card, though. But I'm going to take Fur. Furor. And... Again, nothing good, except white cards. Lots of white cards coming late, and they're all good. I can play the Neonate. I'll take the Ridgewolf, I guess. Oh, really late Bitterheart Witch. Admittedly, wow, yeah, white is about as open as it can be. I bet nobody at the table is playing white. Okay, no, I wouldn't bet that. Maybe only 1 or 2 people at most, because Bonds of Faith is awesome. Like, I don't know. I'll take the Bitterheart Witch, and hopefully... Okay, I didn't open a Curse of Death's Hold, because I would definitely play that card if I opened one of those. I mean, Keswick Cagebreakers is actually a very good card. So I would definitely consider taking it here, and it seems good, so I'll take it. Ooh. Okay, that's an Evil Twin that I probably won't play, because I'm pretty sure I'm red-green. Oh wow, okay, there's a Murder of Crows. I would have been so paid off for playing in different colors. I'm getting pretty mediocre cards. It might have been right to switch at some point. It probably would have been okay to switch during Pack 2 to white, but I think it's too deep now. So I'll take the Hanwir Watchkeep, sure. Back from the Brink is kind of underdrafted, but I'm not playing blue. There's like nothing in my colors in this pack. I'll take the Altar Sweep, I guess. Seriously, Fiend Hunter. Way better than the 4th pick. This deck is going to be so terrible. Corpse Lunge, I guess. Wolf. Wolf. Lunge, I guess. Lunge. We'll see how many playables I have for this deck. I could play the first Corpse Lunge. I don't really like playing multiples. Well, I'm gonna put in all my good red and green cards first, before I decide my splash cards. So I'm going to splash for Skur's Dag Flare. And I'll play a Corpse Lunge. Oh man, this deck is very bad. I'm not happy with this deck at all. I could play the Bitterheart Witch just as a Death Touch blocker. That sounds terrible, but I could play the first Grimflowering fairly happily, and I could play a Faithless Looting as well. I was kind of scrounging for playables that time around, so I guess I'll start up my lands. So I'm probably looking at 8 or 9 forests, 8 or 9 mountains. So I'm going to say 3 swamps for my 2 splashes, and then I'll fill the rest with forest. I actually don't have any double costs, so I'm going to even out the mountains and forests a little bit more. So that's a little better. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, hopefully I can win some games, because this deck does not seem very good. We'll see how it performs, though. Okay, this hand seems fine. Okay, somebody's playing white, and somebody was very happy to see white open. I would imagine that I'm going to do very badly this round. If only because I'm playing against somebody who is in, like, the most open color ever. And that Inquisitor is threatening enough that I think I can rack it. Okay, I probably should have kept up the first strike mana and tricked a non-block or something. Okay, Kessid Wolf is a 3/3, so my Corpse Lunge can do 3 to something. Abyssinian Priest is really good, so I could just 3 that. And then play a Village Ironsmith. Okay, back from the brink. I'll play a Lambholt just to get some power on the board. Because the 4/5 can block the Relentless Scabs, and I'm not just gonna, like, die to them brutally. Hopefully. And hopefully I can restabilize off of the Kessid Cagebreakers. I think I'm going to chump the Scabs this time. I don't want to get too low. Okay. Now, okay, so I can play the Dawnshredder Elk, sacrifice it to get a creature in my graveyard. And so now I can just swing and have chump blockers forever. Okay. Okay, so if the two biggest get blocked here, so 3 and 4, I get in for. Oh, actually, I'm have lethal this turn, so. All right. I didn't think that game was going to turn out so well. So I'm going to play the Scorn Villager and hope that I draw a land next turn so that I can play the Juggernaut out on turn 3, which is actually really solid. And even if I don't get a land, I can still... Okay, well, I got a land. Aww. I don't know what I can do about that. Hopefully You know, if I just let this creature die, I can corpse... Oh wow, making it easy. Sure, I'll take that. And I'll kill the Inquisitor again with the rack. Oh, I should have done that after. Oh man, that's miserable. That was sad. That was just a poor play, I'm sorry. I definitely should have just done rack post-combat. So I'll play the Elder, get in for 5. Okay, they're gonna flip. Well, I unfortunately can't just win right now, I don't think. I could dig for a removal spell, I guess. Which I actually drew, but I have no red mana. And besides, even if I did, I can't actually use the rack to kill the Chapelgeist. So I'll discard my 2 least useful cards right now. Actually, can't even play that one. I'm getting for 4. Draw a card. Okay. Oh gosh. If I don't gain some life, I think I'm just dead. I mean, that Archangel's Light actually saved this person. Actually, no, it didn't. It didn't really matter. I didn't have enough damage anyway, but... Okay, we'll see how I can go game 3. Okay, a hand with Juggernaut is good. And a hand with an accidental 2-drop is good, too. Okay, I'm kind of curving out. This should turn out well, actually. Oh, well, Fiend Hunter screws curving out pretty easily. No creatures in my graveyard. I could just play the Gang to get in for some more damage, and I can actually swing with my Somberworld Sage. I mean, Somberworld Dryad. Because of it. Gallows Warden. I still don't have creatures in my graveyard, but I'm just gonna get in. Okay, untap the Juggernaut. And that also means there's a creature in my graveyard now, so Kessig Cagebreakers gets a little value. Okay, I would really like a Rack with Madness right now, because Geist-Honored Monk is terrifyingly annoying. And it actually means that I can't really swing with my Cagebreakers. Okay. Trumping is good for the Juggernaut. It's a good sign. So I can get in with all those. Oh, and lethal off of the Pitchburn Devils. Okay. Well, I didn't die in the first round. That deck seemed pretty terrible to me. Oh gosh. I think I just saw two Blood Gift Demons over here. That's pretty crazy. I hope I'm not playing against that person. Although I probably will at some point. If I survive, that is. And that's not a given. I don't claim that it is. Okay, let's go. Plays Dream Twist. And does it to me. That's unusual. That's not normally a playable card. I don't think it's ever a playable card, actually. Okay, I guess I can't get a cheap point of damage in with this with the elk now. I can still sacrifice a rare card. Okay, I'm so glad I have Rack. Juggernaut is really annoying. Swing, threatening to activate First Strike. No blocks. I'll play a Lambhold Elder and a Bloodcrazed Neonate. So pressure is being applied. I'm not going to swing with the Elder because I do not want it to trade with the Scab. Okay. Chose to trade for my Neonate. Ooh, there's the Ruinator. I was worried about that, because ridiculous. Okay, that's probably why the trade happened. To activate the Ruinator. And now I can't really do anything. Until the Ruinator starts swinging. And it did, but I'm pretty much just dead. And swing lethal, okay. Now I'm down a game, it's going to be significantly harder for me to catch up. So I'll play an elk. Play a wolf, try to curve out. Get in with both. Okay. Get in with both again. Cage breakers. And I have lethal, so we're even. But I saw a lot of good cards in that deck. I'm a little worried. Hellrider. I'll throw up my defenses with unflipped Hanwer Watchkeep. I still take damage off of the Hellrider, but I'm not taking 3 damage. So that's always upside. Okay, my Neonate got top decked, which is pretty much a drag, but okay, okay, so I've got a Juggernaut in my graveyard. I can kill the Hellrider with the Corpse Lunge, which seems like the play, because it's kind of terrorizing me. Relentless Scabs. I should probably draft that card higher. It's been doing some work against me. Okay, so I just block it. I don't really see a need to play around combat tricks or anything. So I'm going to skip a turn to flip my creatures. Now I have an actually legitimate blocker, as well as a couple of awesome attackers. So we'll see if I can force through the last couple points of damage without being counterattacked to death. I don't think I can play my Neonate because it'll just get shot down. Okay, so I hit. Okay, I think I should have a hard time losing this game now. Okay. Okay, now I can just Fires of Undeath for the win. Wow, I actually made it to the finals again with a deck that I thought was pretty bad. I would like to give myself credit for piloting it. And those were close games. Those were like pretty good games, actually. I like that. That was fun. This has been a pretty common progression for this deck. Okay. And the race begins. I'm a little bit mana flooded this game. Wow, this is like the dumbest game in the history of the world. Oh, okay, that's definitely going to get racked. Markov Blade Master, that card's ridiculous. Oh, okay, I guess I can't race anymore. Oh, returning. Okay, I guess that shouldn't have surprised me. I'll try to thin my library out since my elk is worthless on the attack now. I can play a couple of creatures this turn. You know, the Neonate actually might be pretty bad, because Markov Blade Master is going to drop next turn. Oh. Well, actually, it still would have been bad in that case, so that's probably fine. I'm a little bit ahead on the attack, so I'll start getting in. Okay, Geist Flame takes out my lonely... Ugh, well... This is going to be a close game. I'm pretty dead on the counterattack if I swing with anything but my Neonate, though. So, I'm just going to have to take that one in stride. Oh, I really should have Faithless Looting there. That was stupid. That might have cost me the game. It depends on what was not actually on top, but... And I'm dead. Oh, I can't even block. Oh, I probably should have played the wolf there. That was unfortunate. Because I'd prefer to just curve out than skip a turn to flip my werewolves. Oh wow, that's a lot of equipment. Can't be blocked by vampires or zombies. I think I can just take this, that's probably fine. And everything flips and I get in for... That's actually lethal. Okay. GG. And I'll play out my wolf. Gets Geist Flamed. Wow. Geist Flame is doing well against me today. Ugh. Nearheath Stalker. I think I'm going to swing, and if it gets blocked, I will Fires of Undeath. Because I really want to keep my Instigator gang. And I think I'll flash back the fires to get rid of that Curiosity jerk. Get in for 3. So this turn I could play Hanweir and also Somberwall Dryad. I don't really want to trade the Gang for the Pitchburn and something else actually, so yeah. And I'll just rack that guy again. Get in for 3 more. Okay, gets back the Nearheath. Pitchburn unblockable. So after the next turn, I'm just going to skip and flip everything, and I should have a pretty easy time winning after that. Yep. Oh wow, first place again. Oh wow, when I'm really trying, it seems like I just always get first place in this. I mean, I've made 4 videos so far, and I've gotten 3-0 in all of them. Anyway, collect my prizes, and I'll do my Crack-a-Pack. Increasing Savagery as my promotional card. Okay, so Innistrad pack. Okay, so we've got Armored Scab. So this is a really neat role player in blue decks for a couple of reasons. It's a 1/4, which is an awesome blocker against a lot of the creatures. Like you saw me playing Kessig Wolf right there, which is actually a pretty good creature, but it's a 3/1, which happens to die to this one pretty dreadfully. And yeah, the milling ability is really good for all the flashback mechanics and graveyard-based mechanics of the set. So yeah, this card's good. And it's not a super high pick, but it's a very relevant playable in almost every blue deck. Okay, Prey Upon is sort of a quintessential green kill spell. I mean, you have to have the bigger creature for this spell to actually work out. So if you have to kill a very huge creature, and if you don't have the biggest creature on the board, then Prey Upon isn't the best. If you're playing green, hopefully you can make it so that it works out that you are the person with the biggest creature. And in that case, Prey Upon is pretty much just a 1-mana kill spell. But it also, yeah, no, it's fine, and you'd play it in most green decks, but just don't expect it to be like a 1-mana murder or something. Okay, Stitcher's Apprentice is another good place filler for blue. For a couple of reasons. Well, sometimes it'll upgrade your smaller creatures into 2/2s, which is the least reason you play this card. Really, the reason you play this card is to sacrifice creatures that you would rather have in your graveyard than your hand, or to fill up your graveyard with creatures, because like if you sacrifice a bear to get a bear, then, well, it doesn't seem like you did anything, but really you filled your graveyard with, you put a bear into your graveyard, and having creatures in your graveyard is really good in this format. So Stitcher's Apprentice is a very solid playable, but again, not a super high pick. Okay, Orchard Spirit is kind of an unusual one. It's like, I mean, it's actually quite fine, quite playable. Like, you would play Wind Drake, which is a 3-mana 2/2 flyer, and this is pretty much a 3-mana 2/2 flyer if you're playing aggressively, although it can't actually block flyers. But it's a green flyer, essentially, and that's an interesting place filler. And it's a nice little evasive creature. It's not, again, not a very high pick, but you'll be happy to play this in your deck. Okay, One-Eyed Scarecrow. I've been sort of on the fence about this card. Since it can attack, it's really only meant for for defensive strategies, like control-y strategies. So if they swing at you, I mean, the creatures you're flying, the flying creatures your opponent's control get shrunk a little bit. But most of the flying creatures in this format aren't only 1 toughness, so they're still getting in for a little bit, and they still have inevitability on you if you can't actually deal with the flyers. So if this is your only answer to the flying creatures, you're probably not in the best shape. usually want other answers as well. So it seems marginally playable. I don't think I'd play this card very often, actually. Okay, Shimmering Grotto. This card is actually pretty nice in this format for a couple reasons. Well, first of all, it has mana on its own, otherwise the card would be terrible. And the fact that it filters mana is really important for splashing off-color flashback costs. And even just any fixers in Limited are actually often playable in case you get stuck on only one of your lands or something. Like if you get stuck on only forests, but you have like blue in your deck, having a Grotto out is kind of nice, because it works both ways. Okay, Naturalize. This has been in every format from here to the moon. But it's always a solid sideboard card against pretty... I mean, the sideboard situations where you actually bring this in are pretty few and far between. But that situation is pretty much just if you see that your opponent has like 5 really high impact artifacts or enchantments. I mean, that seems like an obvious reason. But that doesn't happen very often. I don't find myself actually siding it in a whole lot. Okay, Spectral Flight. This card actually seems really, really good. Normally I like to shy away from auras, but this creature actually gives, this enchantment actually gives a huge power boost and evasion for 2 mana. So the reason I like this card, it's every aura comes with high risk, but having a Spectral Flight just means that if you put it even on your smaller creature, like a vampire or something, they really can't race you, because having like a 3-power flyer on turn 2, or having like a wind elemental, which is a 4/4 flyer on turn 3, or even, you know, bigger creatures later is just always really good. I mean, sure, if they kill it, they're 2 for 1ing you, but sometimes the risk is well worth it. So I used to just sort of totally play off all auras as unplayable in Limited just because of the 2 for 1 potential, but some of them are really powerful enough that it's totally fine, and this is one of them. Okay, Makeshift Mauler is actually a pretty awesome graveyard-enabled creature. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get the creatures in your graveyard, but if you have cards like Armored Scab, or, you know, other mill cards, then getting a creature isn't too difficult, or even if you're just, you know, fighting in combat, it's not too difficult. But a 4/5 for 4 in blue is pretty awesome. It's really hard to attack through. It hits for quite a bit. Like, its stats are just really stellar. So if you can pull this off, it's really good. Okay, there's Mask of Avacyn. And this equipment, it's a little bit clunky, but it seems actually pretty fine. The hexproof ability is pretty good against a couple of removal spells, you know, Tragic Slip, that sort of thing. And if you can put it on like a big flyer or something, it makes it really hard to attack through, gives it a little bit of a power boost. It's a fine playable. If you have one, you could play it, but I don't pick them super highly. Okay, Spectral Rider. This card is pretty good. Like 2-power bears are good. Like, they're playable in your deck, and 2-power for 2 with evasion is really, really good. And that's always been that's always been the case. If you just drop this guy on turn 2, it's gonna get in for a lot of damage, especially if they're not playing white. Actually, maybe only if they're not playing white, but if they're not playing white, it's an unblockable 2/2 for 2, which is awesome. So if you're in heavy enough white to consistently cast the creature on turn 2 or maybe even 3, I would always play this card. Okay, Village Cannibals. This card varies from bad to okay, or even good sometimes, depending on either how many creatures you're playing or how many creatures your opponents are playing. How many humans they are, or how many humans you are. So if you even get 1 trigger off of it, it's a 3/3 for 3, and that's quite good. And making it a 4/4 is pretty much into fatty range, and so if you can kill 2 humans, even just humans, you know, killing each other in combat, because humans are all over the place in the set, so you shouldn't have too many issues getting a couple triggers off of this guy, and he seems fine, but just in a vacuum, it doesn't always seem that good to me, so I don't always play them, but I think most of the time you have a good reason to. Okay, there's Stensia Bloodhall. This is not at all a high pick, but it's actually okay if you're already in the colors. You don't need, you're okay if you think your mana isn't so sketchy that you can't run colorless lands, colorless producing lands. I mean, the ability doesn't do a whole lot. It doesn't actually change the board, but if you're on a board stall, it is pretty much inevitability. So you'd normally be happy to play this card if you're in both of the colors and also don't really need fixing. That's kind of a tall order, but if your deck is already like that, you could feel free to pick this guy up late. I mean, it's not good. You don't really want to. You're not going to pick this early at all. It's just not that good of a card. Okay, there's Mayor of Averbuck. This card is actually quite good. You can't actually see the flip side, unfortunately, on this card, but the flip side is a 3/3 with other werewolf creatures you control get +1/+1, and at the beginning of your end step, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token into play. And even without other werewolves, this guy is actually really good. Aside from giving the random power bonuses to humans and werewolves on the flip side is strong enough on its own that you'd be happy to play this card even without anything else. Producing, what is essentially other wolves and werewolves you control get +1/+1 on the flip side. Just making a 3/3 token every turn, just for playing this 2-mana creature that becomes a 3/3, is very, very good. Like, if you just drop this guy, it'll usually boost a couple of your creatures, and then once it flips, it makes you an army on its own. It's actually quite crazy. If you're playing green, there's no way you're not playing this card, and I would consider splashing it in other colored decks. It's a very strong card. Alright, thanks. So I'm just going to go and show you my other rares in case you were curious or something that I won. Okay, Witchbane Orb, sure. Ludwig's Test Subject, and also a Parallel Lives. Huntmaster of the Fells, and a Predator Ooze. I love Huntmaster. That reminds me, I actually did a triple Dark Ascension draft one time and ended up with 4 Huntmaster of the Fells and 3 Immerwolves in my deck. It was hilarious. It was a crazy, crazy unbeatable deck. I don't even know how that happens. But anyway, moving on. And a Foil Island, and Balefire Dragon. Okay, those are really good. Alright, thanks for watching. Yeah, I had to wait a little while to exit it because for whatever reason, once I press exit, it like cuts off the last 10 seconds of whatever I was doing. So I'm just going to sit here and wait a little bit.